Yesterday I came across a tweet that coincidentally had a lot to do with the topic of this episode in a roundabout way. The tweeter asked, "How do you keep customers engaged?" A lot of the comments and replies offering all kinds of tips were interesting, but many of them were simply not actionable. And unfortunately, that's what I see a lot of in researching customer experience practices. Now, in my opinion, people involved in the customer experience tend to overlook the obvious and make things more complicated than they really need to be. And sometimes I think it's just to justify themselves having a job. The fact is, there are so many simple ways to keep the customer happily engaged without having to go to extraordinary or inactionable lengths. You'll want to be constantly cultivating a culture of improvement. And always remember that our customers are real people with real lives. They have Facebook accounts, car problems, holiday plans, they get headaches, they love kittens and walks in the park. So with that in mind, one of the basic ways to keep customers engaged and ensure that they have a positive experience is right at the support level and how we reply to customers through email. Now, writing customer support emails seems to be a long forgotten art. Just like chatbots replacing live agents, some companies have opted to using these long-worded templates laden with flowery nonsense verbiage, sentences that go nowhere, and case numbers that are absolutely useless to the customer. Now, back in the days of snail mail, we would call them form letters with a nice rubber stamp signature at the bottom. They were seen as heartless and unempathetic then, as the templated support email is now. I like to call it wag the dog support emails. You ever see that movie with Robert De Niro, Wag the Dog? You're giving the customer the perception that someone has read their issue and is working on it, but in reality, it may be days before someone actually addresses their concern, if at all. It's one of those secret tactics used by support crews in order to chip away at the queue so they can get through as many tickets as possible, not really knowing or understanding the damage that it can do. Now, this may not always be true. Certainly, any company or brand wants their customers to be happy and have an amazing experience. That's why support is crucial, and well-written support emails are critical for further customer engagement. And that's what we're going to be talking about right after the intro. Hey guys, and welcome along to another installment of Telecast PH with me, Jeff Thompson, your host. Thank you very much for joining. Now, before we begin, I'd like to give a shout out to the sponsor of this podcast, Telework PH. We build your team, you get the benefit. To find out more, just head on over to www.teleworkph.com or connect with me on LinkedIn. Just search Jeff Thompson, Telework PH. Right, so on to today's topic, and we're talking about communicating with customers, specifically writing customer emails. Now, as I said, writing is an art. I should know. I'm a published author. Now, one of the first things any writer does when they start a new story or novel is create the universe, the atmosphere that the story is going to live in, and even establish the rules for that universe and atmosphere. When you read the story, you may not notice this is going on. However, down the line, if the rules change, then the reader is left befuddled. The point is, the author only has one chance in the beginning of the story to set the tone for the rest of the experience. And support emails are really no different. The support agent has just one chance to set the atmosphere and establish the rules in the first response to the customer. They'll want to use everyday, plain language that sounds natural, not like they were constantly addressing the Queen of England. Now, if you take a look at your own support team, you'll see that your support team is made up of real people, not philosophers or entrepreneurs. They are frontliners. They are people. So why would you want them to speak in a way that was unnatural to them? Now, your customers, they want resolutions, and they want conversations about those resolutions. They aren't looking to be talked down to, nor are they looking for a correspondence with a team. When they have an issue, they have taken their time to report that issue in an email, and it should be addressed personally. Incidentally, personalization is one of the biggest trends to emerge, along with response times, here in 2022. Now, I know this may seem like a daunting task when emails come in by the truckloads and never seem to get down to a clear queue. The support team can sometimes spend endless hours answering emails with no end in sight. But I wonder how many of those emails coming in are duplicates because the original issue was never taken care of. And what's more, how can you respond with emails that customers will actually enjoy getting? It's easy. With just a few tweaks here and there and regular agent email audits, your support emails can take on a whole new life. So the first type of email we're going to talk about is the automated replies. Kicking out an automated reply as soon as a customer sends through an email is a great idea, especially during peak times if agents can't get to the emails right away. It lets the customer know that at least their email has been received and it's not lost out somewhere in the abyss. However, the wording itself can set the rules and the atmosphere and can make all the difference in the world in how the customer will be expecting the rest of the experience to go. Now, I got an example here. Here's one that I got recently, just about 2 weeks ago, from an online purchase I made that I had a small issue with. Here's their email. No greeting. Your request has been received and is being reviewed by our customer service representative. Your reference case number is 245-069055. Kindly allow us up to 24 hours to revert to you. For requests related to purchases, kindly provide us the relevant order ID. To locate your order ID, go to the app, go to the Me tab, select My Purchases, select the relevant order, locate order ID at the bottom of the page. And that's it. Talk about ice cold. There's absolutely no greeting, and they gave me a reference number that I am to do what with exactly? Then they ordered me to do a bunch of heavy lifting in order to help them locate my item, which is what I was contacting them for in the first place. So now I know how it is. Now my expectations are set on how I will be treated the rest of this experience, and I already don't like it. Throwing case numbers and ticket numbers at customers in the body of the email is nothing more than a dog and pony show. Most customers are not going to take note of these long, random generated numbers. If anything, put them at the bottom for reference and just let the customer know they can reply to the email. So I found this other example. Let's take a look at this. And here it goes. Hi, we just received your inquiry. All of our agents are busy assisting other customers at the moment. We'll get back to you about your concern as soon as possible. For your records, your support ticket number is 1234567. Included in any future correspondence you might send. Signed, the support team. Okay, seems harmless enough, right? Well, let's break it down and see what it's really saying. So the first line, we just received your inquiry. Why not say I? And we'll get to that in a minute. Also, ditch that word inquiry. Use something different. Now the next line says, all of our agents are busy assisting other customers at the moment. How does this sound to your customer? To me, it sounds like, Jeff, you are not important enough for us to take care of your issue right now. Our other customers are more important. You're a loser. And the next line, for your records, your support ticket number is 1234567. Included in any future correspondence you might send. Now this email is asking the customer to do some more heavy lifting. They're already frustrated, and they've been given a number that they have to keep track of. Signed, the support team. Now, I highly doubt the entire support team is responsible for that automated response. And lastly, personalize it. use the person's name. Every automated email tool that I'm aware of has an option to use tokens where the customer's name can be inserted into a greeting. So now tell me what you think of this. Here's one that I wrote. Hey Bob, thanks so much for using our service. Now this is an automatic reply just to let you know that I've got your email and a member of my support team will be reaching out to you shortly. You can hang on to this email for now. If you have anything further to add, you can just drop a reply here. Thanks, Jeff Thompson, Director of Customer Support. Now obviously that would need some tweaking to fit your voice and brand. However, do you see the difference? The first response is robotic and impersonal. The second reply, although still an automated response, is personalized, uses plain language, and sounds like it comes from somebody who cares. Now let's take a look at what we call canned responses. And of course, the star of the show is... Sorry for the inconvenience. If anything was a canned response, sorry for the inconvenience is at the top of the list. So let me ask you, when was the last time you were reading any reviews of a brand and someone commented that they had an issue and they were just simply overjoyed that the customer support agent who handled their case was sorry for the inconvenience? I mean, really, it's as automatic as saying bless you when someone sneezes. It's become so commonplace that it really holds no meaning anymore. Let go of it. Because I'm here to tell you, in most cases, it's not just an inconvenience. It's a straight problem. Two phrases that I cannot stand are sorry for the inconvenience and kindly. Generic responses like this may seem respectful and perhaps even a way to have control over how the support agents reply. However, they aren't conversational and they aren't natural. And if you need to have a template for your support crew that forces them to say sorry for the inconvenience so they don't type their own words, then there's an issue there. You really want your emails to have personality. I mean, after all, there's going to be a support agent's signature at the bottom, right? Let them talk the way they talk. No one has to be a Bill Shakespeare, but encouraging your support agents to be more natural will let their individual personalities come through, and the customer will appreciate that. So when it comes to those canned responses, just don't use them. They sound fake as all get out. Now we'll take a look at my biggest pet peeve, the word salad support email. I get these a lot actually as sales emails, but the word salad email are emails that ramble on with all those extra words and phrases that don't fit, attempting to sound smart or official. They're simply ineffective. Support agents should be encouraged to just keep it simple. Less is more. All of those words can have the opposite effect and just serve to confuse the customer even more. One basic rule of writing is don't use 10 words if it can be said in 3. And I'd wager that most of your customers will be more concerned with the resolution and value of the content rather than how many words are used to say it. They're looking for conversation. And conversation with empathy begets that personal connection. Conversational emails let your customers know that you care. One of the biggest outcries from customers back in 2021 was the need for more empathy and responsiveness in customer support. Template emails are cold and unfeeling. No matter how many nice words and phrases you include, the cadence will always be that of a well thought out and edited form letter, much like a podcast script. Now that's not to say that templates should never be used, because there really are ways to use templates effectively and still not let the support queue get the best of your team. Templates are a great way to give walkthroughs, provide links to self-service portals, or other repetitive information that can be easily inserted into the body of an email rather than spending the time to find it and then copy and paste. But it's important to let the customer know that the agent has inserted a template or a copy of the instructions. For instance, listen to this email that I wrote. Hey John, I can definitely understand how frustrating that must be to be locked out of your account. Fortunately, I may have a quick fix that I'll insert below. It's a simple walkthrough on how to gain access again. If this doesn't help or if this walkthrough doesn't make sense, just shoot over a reply to this email and let me know more. I'll get you up and running. Also, I'm more than happy to jump on a call and walk you through it. Here it is. Insert the template there. Let me know if this makes sense. And thanks so much for using our service. Have an amazing Tuesday. Jeff. For reference, this is ticket number 007. Now that is a good use of a template. They are not a good practice for everyday communication or simple fixes. If you want your customers to be engaged and to have a great experience, you have to go the extra mile. Using wordy templates with fill-in-the-blank answers may seem like a good idea to save time and keep things consistent, but it's imperative that you monitor and watch how your customers are responding. Better yet, frequently audit the outgoing emails with a support email QA. Impersonal-sounding email templates that only serve to push off the customers for a while, hoping they'll resolve their issue on their own, I'm going to tell you, it will only frustrate them more. And it'll put a gap between your brand and your lifeline. If you find support emails pile up frequently to where the customer experience is affected through bad email writing or long response times, then the support director needs to identify those hot times with a heat map and add on extra staff. Outsourcing can help and is an affordable solution to bring on high-quality agents. This will ensure that your customers stay engaged and are getting the personal touch and in a timely manner. And that's going to do it for this installment of Telecast PH. I've been Jeff Thompson, your host. Thank you so much for listening. Have yourselves an amazing day. And don't forget, if you want to find out more about Telework PH, what we do, and how we can help you build your dream team, all you got to do is hop on over to www.teleworkph.com or connect with me on LinkedIn. Just search Jeff Thompson, Telework PH, and we can set up a time for a quick chat. And as late great Dr. Wayne Dyer said, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Take care, everyone. Be safe. It's Telecast PH signing off.